The pandemic report was another big story this week. The pandemic report came out and said, lo and behold, you are never going to believe this, guys. This threw me for a loop. So it did. Like, you know how all of those like left-leaning accounts, compassionate content creators, thought leaders, representatives of charities, progressive journalists, everybody that was, looking at facts and reality in that period, 2020, 2021. All of the reality and the facts and the stats and everything that we all threw out to the powers that be at the height of the pandemic, when we were saying things like we should lock down quicker, faster, save more lives, we should probably stop funneling cash out to your mates and we should instead spend it on the best and most competent, proven, traditionally on point suppliers instead of giving it to all of your friends and they jack up the prices. We should probably do those things, guys. Like, I remember saying that, like, doing TikToks and stuff around the time. I remember being like, look, we know that you're all crooked as fuck. We know that. Since forever, the Tories have been in it for themselves. But just fucking once, in a scenario where we are all facing this world-threatening dystopian mega flu, just for a few weeks, a little holiday for you. Could you just act in the country's interest, in the interest of the people? Just this once, just for a little bit. Can you break from character for a few weeks? I remember saying. It turns out that our concerns and challenges to them back then were far from off point, far from just Project Fear. They were spot fucking on, according to this pandemic report this week. Yes, there was corruption, it turns out. Yes, there was huge amounts of incompetence. Johnson was more focused on his popularity rating and his personal approval polling. It says 23,000 people died unnecessarily because of that bungling, because of that populism. And a lot of this stuff sort of fades into the distance, doesn't it? But populism was what it was. Populism killed in that pandemic. When Boris Johnson was up there behind a podium going like, we're going to send the virus packing in within 12 weeks. Like, no, you're not. You're not. You fucking clown shoes. Just be serious. Can you just be serious, please? When it's the health of the nation and a new influenza virus with a death rate, can you just... the bodies pile high. Okay. All right. And I read parts of this report. I caught little bits of coverage this week. I asked myself the question. I kept coming back to this one question where I was like, are we ever going to arrive at a point in this country, or indeed in the United States, right, where people on the left who warn about these things, whether it's COVID or Brexit or Trump, where our concerns are actually listened to? Instead of the barking back of the overconfident populists. Are we ever going to arrive at that point where we stop listening to overconfident, privately educated fucking Telegraph columnists? Like, how many times is it going to take? I am so tired of hearing credible people, scientists, academics, business leaders, warning about shit. Trades, legislation, fucking masters, qualified fuckers. Going like, are you sure you want to leave the EU? Are you positive this is the right move? Are you sure it won't ruin the economy? And send investors packing and cause issues with your sewage treatment chemicals. And, poppycock. Oh, absolutely, balderdash. Balderdash, Project Fear. Where did you hear that? We are Britain. Are we ever going to get to a point where we don't listen to those people? And it's the same thing with Trump, right? Same thing with Donald Trump. When he was on the campaign trail last time round, trying to get back in the White House so he could escape jail. You know, you'd hear the things that he was saying out on his rallies. You'd come back and you'd warn your friends or, you know, talk about it on Twitter and people would clap back. And you'd say things like, I mean, he's promising to be a dictator. That's what he says. He says he's going to be a dictator on day one. He's going to build camps, he says, and start rounding up the immigrants and deporting them. And people would be like, oh, rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Where did you hear that? In The Guardian. And you'd be like, I mean, he's literally saying it. Like, it's here. Here's the video of him saying the words. And still they won't listen. Oh, with COVID, it's like, oh, it's only the flu. Why do we always have to step over the bodies after all of the damage has been done and tiptoe our way into the inquiry years fucking later to then finally, eventually be told, actually, in hindsight, you guys were right. Yeah. I can't wait until these guys, these same guys, and it is the same guys, fuck the planet. And we can barely grow food, and there's whole towns submerged underwater. And we are then running inquiries, retrospective inquiries, in these floating dystopian communities. It's like Waterworld with Kevin Costner, so you know it's shit. Just ragged, climate-ravaged tribes floating on like old plastic, reviewing how bad things have gotten. And finally, in like 2070 or something, finally then, one of the elders of the tribe is like, yes, in retrospect, the lefties back in the day, they may have had a point.